Welcome into Softball Talk. We're back. I am Dan the Fan. Along with me, as always, is Coach JB. Coach!
Yeah. Woo. It's been a pretty long hiatus.
And it's felt good. I've been on about 30 vacations, according to Coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot has changed. A lot of moving parts, as always, in softball. And the best part about it is, this Coach is, what are we? 4 months, 5 months away from tryouts for high school season. And we'll get into that. We'll talk a little
Oh,
bit
yeah.
about it. But Coach, what's been up? What's going on with you?
Uh, you know, um, I've been working with the Bat Tracks company. I'm wearing a shirt and a hat. Been cutting deals with them. I'm actually doing video work with them on their product. So I've been bringing players in the facility, shooting video. Um, so I've been kind of a little bit busy on that. Uh, but I've had free time on the weekends now.
Right.
So my team kind of folded. Um, so I had, we were kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
I had some kids that needed to move up to 18s, and I had some kids that, you know, decided that they wanted to stay down to 16s.
Right.
And so it was kind of in the middle, kind of a rough time to even have a tryout, really. And when your team, when you make that decision on, okay, we need to, my decision was solely based on pitching.
Yeah.
All coaches out there got you all know that you have to have pitching
Right.
to even compete. So there's not a lot of pitching out there right now.
Correct.
So I chose to move the team up to 18s, and I guess it backfired on me. Um, so a lot of the kids decided that they wanted to stay down 16s. They felt that was important for them
Right.
in their recruiting process. Uh, don't know that I agree with it, but it's ultimately their decision, their money to do what they want to do. And so, yeah, my team ended up folding. So I'm going to sit back and take a little break, and I think I'm going to get things fired back up early in the summer. May drop down to some 12s,
Yeah.
put a nice 12U team together and roll along with them. Um, Even been thinking a little bit about my direction on, my tournaments. I know we've talked about it a lot on here
Yeah.
about, flying to Colorado and, not so much as going to California and
Yeah.
things like that. But I think the more that I'm watching this recruiting trend,
Mm-hmm.
kids wanting to target certain schools.
Mm-hmm.
All kids have their dream school,
Yeah.
and that's great.
Yes.
But you can't put all your eggs in
You
just
cannot.
that one basket of that dream
Absolutely.
school. So
Absolutely.
you have to leave the door open.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I've been, sitting back and watching a lot of kids with their process and how they're
Mm-hmm.
going about it, and the kids that we brought on here and talked to.
Yes.
And I don't know, maybe there is something to going to those bigger tournaments and getting the team in front of them.
Coach,
I don't
yeah,
know.
I've been a huge proponent of staying regional and why I go national. I have, and I'll be one to eat my words, because now my daughter has kind of shifted gears because of what's happened with your team, and where she's decided to how to move her playing abilities, because for the only reason is she went to a non-power 5 D1 camp, that
Mm-hmm.
she really loves the school, loves the coach, loves everything about it. It is her dream school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a true possibility? I don't know. It's one of those things. We'll see what happens, right? You'll roll the dice. But the main thing is the coach told her, she said, I need to see you play. And she's like, not clips, not that. I need to be at tournaments to see you play. And and where is this coach going? Well, they're going to the places that you mentioned
Yeah.
just a minute ago. And I think it's something that us as parents need to sit back and look. If if that is what you want to do or your kid wants to do. And this wasn't it just kind of happened. Coach's team was in a tough spot with what to do, and my daughter got a great opportunity to chase it, and so we're going to give it a year. It's a lot. It's a totally different route than the path that she was on.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that the best part is I'll be able to talk to all you about it. It's something totally different. So far, great organization, blown off with a lot of things that they've done. Their person that runs their organization, a lot of positives. So we will see. We're in the very early stages of it. The big thing with playing like a national schedule coach is her team doesn't even start playing until October.
Yeah, because that's when the bigger tournaments fire up.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with Ava Reinhardt's team.
Yeah.
I mean, they just put her schedule out, and it doesn't even start for like 3 or 4 more weeks.
Exactly.
So that's where the bigger, those bigger tournaments take a break too.
Yes.
And so then they get fired back up. But I want to kick back to a little bit of something, and you and I have talked about this numerous times on this podcast.
Sure.
Burning bridges.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because I just want to say that for the most part on my team, almost everybody came and spoke to me or called me on the phone and spoke to me about what their plan was.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. I had a few people that I still haven't heard from.
Okay.
Got it. Like, never heard from them.
Right. Well, and Coach,
I had to find out where they went by somebody sending me a screenshot of them being on somebody's roster.
Yeah, and I understand. I get it to where both sides, it's a tough, man. Like, as a parent, it's a terrible situation to have to make that call. I don't like, like I said, I've been fortunate. My daughter's only played on 2 teams forever in her life.
Yeah.
All these years, 2 teams.
Which is a good thing.
It's a great thing.
Because that's the last thing coaches want to see is, holy cow, since you were 12, you've been on 15 different teams.
And it's just, man, it's just not a fun, it's just not, it's not a good thing. And I was hoping that she would be on 2 and that would be it. And maybe, hopefully we'll come back. Hopefully it's a 1-year thing or what, I don't know. Who knows what the future will hold. But I will, in their defense, Coach, I will say it's a very tough thing. But what I will say is that it's always great to make that phone call, or in a lot of cases, the kids these days feel more comfortable with a text or something like that. I understand that, but it is, Coach. It's a tough from either way, and I know it's tough on you. But other coaches out there, let us know in the comments. How did you handle something like this? Because we know, Coach, it happens. Teams fold, start new every day, and I mean, you had a great 3-4 year run with it, with this team that you threw together 4 years ago on a whim.
Yeah.
To get some kids recruited to begin with. Yeah. That's why it all started. It was crazy. Why it started. I did want to talk, Coach, I'm just going to jump around. We did talk a lot about not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yep.
And I know she's not here, and hopefully we'll talk to her soon. One of those kids would be Ava Reinhardt.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to, I'm not going to get into actual specifics, Coach, but she had a legit, this is where I'm going, right?
Yeah.
And it's crazy how everything has spun off, and then now she has landed in a fantastic place at St. Francis University, up in New York.
Well, again,
fantastic university.
The thing about it is, and again, this is why you never know who's watching you. Okay, because she's out here playing these tournaments.
Yes.
Okay, and at one point she's like, I don't even know if anybody's even looking at me right now. Like, I have no idea. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Cornell, St. Francis, start blowing her phone up.
Yeah.
And, and it just happened like that quick, and it wasn't like one phone call, like they were all over her.
Yeah.
And when's your next tournament? We're going to be there. And they were there.
Yeah.
And they, of course, they talked to her. They talked to her parents. And it happened so fast, but she had no idea she was even on their radar.
And I don't think that she was on, or that she was even on looking at them on their,
No.
they weren't even in her basket, right?
No.
But then all of a sudden things start to kind of steamroll,
Yeah.
and they happen. And so, man, you have to keep such an open mind. And we talked about burning bridges, right? We also have to talk about burning bridges with recruiting. And, one of the major things that I've learned over the last 3 or 4 months is when you're like players out there, when you're on X and you're tagging a video and you're, oh, here's my, here I am at the hitting facility taking swings. And then you start tagging all those coaches, that's a negative. When you tag all those coaches, and let's say Cornell or St. Francis aren't tagged in that video, they're going to scoot right by you.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, well, she must not be interested in me.
Yeah.
So, players have to be very, very careful, when they're doing those type of things, those posts and things like that. That's just another nugget that I've learned that I had no idea. And it's crazy, this recruiting process, the things that you learn as a parent and players, and my daughter telling me, hey, Dad, we can't do this, we should do this. It's very, very interesting. But circling back to Ava Reinhardt, I mean, that's a kid, Coach, that is, now she's going D1, going to a fantastic university, and has done all the right things to get there.
Absolutely. I mean, the kid walks in my door in the 6th grade, and, she's as big as a toothpick.
Yeah.
Little bitty thing with glasses. We tease her all the time about her goggles that she was wearing.
Yeah.
Little bitty thing. And her dad will tell you to this day, we sat down in my facility, and her first thing is I want to play for you at Mercy. What do I got to do?
Mm-hmm.
Her second thing is I want to go D1.
Yeah.
And I said, it's pretty simple. You have to buy into the process.
Mm-hmm.
Her dad's like, well, what is the process? What do you mean? And I'm like, well, you're kind of small. We need to start strength training.
Mm-hmm.
From day one, she jumped right into strength training.
Yes.
And hasn't stopped.
Yes.
I mean, the kid's legs are jacked. She can drive a softball, strong arm. It has changed her completely. Mm-hmm. And hitting, she's been in the facility every day, every week, doing her work. And then, they went out and jumped on this big national type of travel ball team where she's been out there seeing high-level competition every weekend.
Right.
Which has also helped propel her to where she needs to be. Now, look, did she struggle her first year at that level? Absolutely. And she'll tell you.
Yeah, yeah.
She struggled bad. It was a huge transition from playing travel ball around here to jumping on that national stage and flying to Colorado and California and Chicago and playing those big teams every weekend. She'll tell you she struggled.
Yeah, and we've talked a little bit about it, Coach. The national dynamic of teams is, they're going to carry 18 kids on a roster.
Yep.
And you're going to play every 2 to 3 innings. And when your number's called, you have got to be ready to perform.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing is Ava got that mentality of alpha dog, now I'm ready, and really put on a show.
Yep.
And did a fantastic job. And so many compliments on her swing, which I know has to make you super happy as her hitting coach. But yeah, it's just great to see. Huge announcement. Now, I'm sure in the next couple weeks, I definitely want to get her on, or maybe after the fall season, we'll talk to her after she officially signs and everything, and get kind of her, process, because, we've talked to a lot of great players on this podcast, and really get to talk to her. And, I also want to talk to Lauren Satterley again. once she officially commits, because I want to talk about her process because she committed as a junior.
Yeah.
She committed a long time ago, and how that process has changed. Did other people come knocking at the door for her because she had a great high school
Yeah.
campaign? But yeah, no, it's super exciting, man. Really happy for Ava. And yeah, at the end of the day, coach, a lot has changed. But at the same time, we love the game. You're still the head coach at Mercy. And that's something else I want to get into is coach, these new kids that are, eighth grade going in or freshmen now, now they're getting ready, for high school season. I believe, do most high schools do an open field at this time of year?
No.
No.
No. As far as I know, very few.
Okay.
There's not too many that do that. And I don't know about out in the counties.
Yeah.
But I know around here, like I was just told by a parent that I guess Assumption is starting their open fields next week or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I don't really know of a bunch of other schools that are out there doing work like we're
Sure.
doing two
Sure.
nights a week. And so again, I do that because I don't want these incoming freshmen to be behind.
Yeah.
I want them to be ready to go. And the other thing is look, to me, open fields is huge. The reason being is because this is where you get the opportunity to come in there and showcase what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, you're gonna show me that you're reliable, you're dedicated, you're gonna be
Sure.
there every week. You're not gonna miss all the time.
Yes.
You're going to buy into the processes
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, tryouts are February 15th.
It's crazy.
Our first
Yeah.
game is March 13th.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, to put a starting lineup out there.
Right.
Okay, so if you're showing up to open fields and you're there every week and you're putting in the work every week and you're doing this and that every week, that goes a long way.
Absolutely.
That goes a long way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also think too it can knock a lot of the bugs and the jitters out of the way for the young kids. And then they can also understand kind of what to expect.
Yeah.
What's a day in the life or what's a day in the life of the practice and how is it going to be handled because you get a good sense of it, right? And then also, if there's a glaring thing that you need to work on, especially, whether it's speed or, your velo or your glove work, this is a great opportunity. I mean, this is the time, coach, that these players need to be packing on the muscle,
Yeah.
putting on a little bit of weight because we know that they lose weight during the season because it's such a, every single day grind. So this is that time. But it's super exciting. We're fortunate that all your players get to go through open field, and hopefully other schools out there have that opportunity as well to get out there and throw.
Well, the other thing is just being in shape.
Yeah,
If you show up, okay, I'll see you girls February 15th.
yeah,
And everybody just walks in the gate February 15th and they really haven't done anything all fall, winter long.
right.
They're not going to be in very good shape.
Yeah,
So, we take that opportunity to run our hills,
yeah,
pull our sleds,
yep,
strap on our parachutes, work on, running and staying in shape. And, because at the end of the day, early in the season, you could be playing a 10, 11 inning ball game.
yeah.
And if you're not in shape, you're not going to last.
100% coach. I did want to shift gears a little bit to your scheduling this year. And I don't know if you really want to even get into it. I know it's awful early before the season. And I know you're not done. You're not finalized. But just talking to you over the last few weeks and hearing from my daughter, you've kind of spoken to the girls about you've kind of changed your approach this year of how you're setting up your schedule. I don't know if you want to speak to it or not. If you don't, we can move on.
I just sitting back looking at it with number one, with where my pitching's at.
Yeah.
We have our senior Olivia Colbank.
Yes.
Again, in the back of my mind is she's she hasn't been healthy
Mm-hmm.
the past couple seasons.
Yes.
That bothers me. That worries me. Is she going to be healthy for the whole season? And then after that, we have young kids.
Mm-hmm.
Lila Blue.
Yeah.
I've got some freshmen that are in there. Riley Booth.
Mm-hmm.
Some young kids. Who if Olivia doesn't stay healthy, that's where we're at.
Right.
And so my thing is how can I try to manage my schedule to where maybe I can help her stay healthy throughout the year.
That makes sense.
So, I've kind of worked my schedule to where we'll play every Tuesday, Thursday, have Monday, Wednesday, and then we'll play more tournaments on the weekend, and that way I can get my younger kids some time.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I don't care about wins or losses when we go play a tournament against, teams that are out in the county. They're not in my district or my region.
Sure.
So I can put my young kids up there and get them some reps and, not pitch Olivia so much during the week around here.
Right. Right. Give her a little bit more of a
Give
break.
her a little bit more of a break. And the other thing is give my other girls an opportunity to get on the field and work on things that we're struggling with.
Mm-hmm.
Because so many times do you start playing games Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, skip Thursday, play Friday and Saturday at tournaments, and then the next week is the same process.
Right.
So you may get one practice in that week.
Right.
Look, I'm trying to make it to where we're still getting that practice time in, where we can focus on the things that we're struggling with instead of just hoping that it gets better because they're just playing games.
No, I get it. Yeah, absolutely. It makes sense. And you have some great young pitchers that came up. I'm super excited to see Liv healthy and can go the route. She looks like she's dialed in, and man, shout out to her in getting ready for the season. But yeah, it's a good thing. I'm super excited to see that. Henderson County, their defending state champions, going to be coming back to Mercy this year.
Well, we haven't finalized it yet.
Okay.
I'm still searching for that third team to come in.
Okay.
I'm having an issue because we've had to bounce the weekend that we were going to originally do it because school has decided to change junior ring ceremony and junior prom
Okay.
up to March.
Okay.
So that weekend that we typically do it is junior prom weekend now.
Got it.
So
okay.
Me and Shannon have found a weekend that we're trying to make work, but now I'm having trouble finding that third team.
Got it.
So we don't have it finalized yet, but I'm still waiting on a couple teams to get back to me and see if we can't get this thing locked down.
Sure. And which is, hey, I can't wait to see him. Coach is a great, defending state champ. So shout out to him. And then another thing, spring break, are you heading back to down south?
We are.
To
Fort Walton Beach.
Fort Walton Beach. Great tournament last year, or round, whatever it ended up being. I can't remember, but great. The whole deal was good. I enjoyed it all. Nice park. Brand new fields last year. It was good. It was good.
Yeah,
the kids really enjoyed
and
it.
a good competition down there.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I'm going to spend that money, I want to go somewhere. Well, again, we've talked about it a couple of years ago. We fly down to Disney and spend all that money.
Yeah.
And we go down there, and every team we played, we beat by 10, 12 runs.
Yeah, and your JV team beat varsity team. It was just a weird, I don't know. We've talked about it. Our spring break didn't line up with the rest of the nation and all that, but it was what it was. Coach, we're finally back. It felt good.
Yeah.
We got a lot out there. What are your questions for Coach and I? Here we are. We're kind of, a few months away from kicking off the high school season. We're, a lot of your fall travel teams are kind of getting to the meat, the heart of their schedule. What are your questions for us? Make sure you comment below and let us know. We have Facebook, Instagram, our emails. On Twitter, I'm at Dan the Fan KY. He is at KY Coach _JB. Make sure you message us. Send us your questions, thoughts. Was this podcast just terrible this week? Coach, anything you'd like to add?
No, I'm just glad to be back. Get to talk about some softball, some things that are going on with the kids, and we want to hear about things that you're seeing out there in the travel ball world.
Sure.
I had some conversation with some parents this week, and of course, what do they want to do? They want to complain that we had umpires last week that cost us some games. Look, they're going to umpire the game hopefully the same way, and you just got to overcome those,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to bash umpires because we need them. We're at a shortage of umpires right
Yes.
now, and it's tough
Yes.
for these guys to spend their weekend out there so your kids can play ball. So I'm not the one that bashes umpires. I think they're important to the game.
Yeah.
And I praise them for going out there doing that for a little bit of money. And but hey, talk to us. Tell us the things that you're seeing out there at the tournaments.
Sure.
And then I seen where NCAA softball just went away from the Dudley ball. They're now going to start using the Spalding ball.
Wow.
So I don't know what the difference is there. Asia seems to, my pitching coach at my facility seems to think that the seams may be a little bit bigger. I don't know, but we'll see how that works out.
Things changed. We'll talk about that ball more next week, Coach. We'll maybe try to get one. We'll also talk about how the high school or the college scholarships have changed for D1. It's been a positive for the ladies.